Hi, my name is Emma Hicks, and I am part of Team Mau Mau. Since the beginning of our project a few months ago, Team Mau Mau has aimed to discover the isotopic signature of various domestic and wild animals, from which we would then make hypotheses about their various diets based on the isotopic signature of their fur or feathers. At this point in our project, we have gathered a substantial amount of data that has proven very promising in helping us answer the question we began with. What will the isotopic signature of the fur or feathers look like based on our knowledge of the animal's diet? This data is exciting and significant because understanding how diet impacts isotopic weight and del-C13 values can increase our understanding of how these animals process different foods. We have run tests on fur samples from various domestic cats and feather samples from various wild birds on the Bucaro and Bryn Mawr's geochemistry lab. Before I continue with our results, as a note, we ran 5 duplicates of each sample and then computed the average del-C13 of the duplicates, giving us an average isotopic value for each sample. Therefore, to summarize, we have run a total of 12 samples with 5 duplicates each. When analyzing the isotopic signatures of the cat fur, we found that they were heavier than the isotopic signatures of the bird feathers, with the isotopic signatures of the various cat fur samples ranging, on average, from about -14 to -16 parts per million del-C13. The del-C13 values of the feathers were significantly lighter, with the lightest feather averaging around -26 parts per million del-C13. Therefore, there is an obvious difference between the del-C13 values of the cat fur samples versus the different bird feather samples. The difference in the del-C13 values can be explained by the various diets of the animals. Cats consume cat food, in which the main ingredient is chicken. Farm-bred chicken are predominantly fed corn, which is a C4 plant and will therefore have a heavier isotopic signature and thus a heavier del-C13 value, or a more positive del-C13 value. The diet of the birds is very different. Most of the feathers we found were from geese, who predominantly eat grass and most likely bugs. Grass is a C13 plant which is isotopically lighter than C4 plants, thus giving the majority of our feathers significantly lighter del-C13 values, or more negative. There were 2 feathers, feather B and C, that were oddly more isotopically heavy than the rest of the feather samples analyzed. We hypothesized that this could be because the birds that the feathers came from had eaten scraps of human food or garbage, which often contains corn and would have made the del-C13 of the samples slightly heavier. It is also possible that these birds could be omnivorous or predatory, thus resulting in a heavier isotopic signature. To summarize, we have found all of our cat samples to have a higher average del-C13 than our bird samples, or heavier, or more positive. This is resulting from the diets of the cats, which contains primarily C4 plants, and the diets of the birds contains primarily C3 plants, thus accounting for the difference in the del-C13 values. To expand our project, we are considering running samples of dog hair, domestic bird feathers, and feathers from free-range chickens to see how their isotopic signatures may vary from our current data set. If we do add these samples to our current data, we have a comprehensive schedule for finishing our project on time. Our updated timeline is as follows. On Monday, November 27th, our final sample collection will be completed. On Tuesday, November 28th, our sample processing will be finished during normal class time. After this, we plan on reserving Thursday, November 30th with Dr. Marenko to run our samples through the Bucaro. Once these samples are run, we will have finished the lab work for our project. On Monday, December 4th, we will have finished making our interpretations and have a comprehensive presentation outline. On Wednesday, December 6th, we will run through the presentation as a group, and December 7th we will present. Finally, on Friday, December 14th, we will submit our final report. Thank you.